match on the weekend, the one shot that let me down was my drop shot.
Yeah.
It's one of those shots that when it works, you feel great. When it doesn't work, you feel pretty terrible.
Pretty sad about yourself.
Yeah, but yeah, when do I hit the drop shot? When's a good time? Because I try and put a bit of spin. I try to get the ball going off at all different angles, but I find that's a very difficult shot to hit. And I see the pros do it a lot, and I think, oh, that's what I need to do. Do I just need to practice that shot more, or what do I need to do?
To begin with, watching the pros can be so difficult because they need to hit amazing drop shots to finish the points.
Okay.
And they are playing them at perfect times. You know, it's not, you know, they've worked hard to get their opponents in a situation, then they play a drop shot with a lot of spin, it bounces here, and recreational players are always trying to recreate this, but really it's just, you're going to make mistakes doing that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the time to hit that drop shot, it's really when your opponents are at the back, you're up at the volley, you've got a ball that's kind of really from knee height to kind of chest height, medium speed, and you can hit kind of into this area here without making a big mistake.
Okay.
Before we go into technique, let's see you hit a few of them,
all right.
and then we'll look at that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Contact with the ball and the brush, like there's loads of spin on that ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the ones that were bouncing were going back over to your side.
Yeah.
But the difficulty there is it was so high that I have time, even though I was at the back of the court when we were hitting down the line, I have time to get up to that ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if I do, and if you mistime that, then that's an easy ball for me. Like, you know, like there's nothing you're gonna be able to do after that. You saw it, didn't you? Like the ball came up and it was a good one, it bounced back over to your side. And because it's bounced on my side and it goes back over yours, I can still reach over your net and finish that point, which is exactly what I did.
I think the only way I'm winning that point I can see now is if the person doesn't get there in time. Because if they don't have the speed to get there, then I win the point. But otherwise, like someone, you know, you're quite fast, so you can get there.
Yeah, and the difficulty is if you were to hit that drop shot lower, like the margin for error there is like you're going to make 9 mistakes out of 10, you know, and that's the problem. So what we need to do is to work on that drop shot, making it actually a little bit flatter, and a bit lower over the net and a little bit deeper in the core, but so that the second bounce is near the fence.
Okay.
Because if I hit a ball where I'm running in from the back and I'm picking the ball where the second bounce is near that fence, I'm only going to be able to pick that ball up. There's nothing I can really attack you with that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of away from your traditional spinny drop shot and more about kind of a short placement block shot that makes it very difficult for me to do something with it.
So so I did it on the backhand there, what about on the forehand? Like so if I can go into the fence, should I only in that position hit backhand drop shot, or should I try and do a forehand into the fence? It's quite tough to...
Hey, this is a good tactical question, because it really depends on kind of where you are, where the ball is in relation, you know. For example, if you're on the forehand side, which you were, and I'm in the backhand side, and I hit down to your forehand, and you go for an angle drop shot, means you've then got to cover the middle.
Okay.
You know, which is fine if you've got the space and you know that you can do that and you've got time to move across.
Okay.
And the same with if I would take the ball down the middle of the court and you move across and you play a backhand drop shot back to this angle, you've got to make sure that you cover your line. Yeah.
Okay.
So. You know, there are principles about where you should be aiming this, but a lot of it depends on the situation, where the ball's coming from, where you are as a pair, you know, what's going on in the game, where the spaces are, like, you know, which opponent is near the back glass, and that will all be a factor in where you hit your drop shot.
Okay.
Let's go on and have a look at the technique. Try and hit it a little bit flatter, more kind of space here, so you're less risk when you're going for it. And you'll see that if I have to pick that ball up, you'll then have an easy volley anyway.
Okay, so I won't get hit this time.
You won't get hit. So this is what you did before, yeah? Trying to bring that ball back, which is really difficult to do, to be honest. So what we want to try and do is now block that ball down for a drop shot like this. Yeah, so the second bounce is down by that glass, and you can see that it's a little bit flatter and that ball is down in this corner and there's not much the person can do. Yes, it might not be an immediate winner, but for sure it will help set you up on that second one. Whereas this is either a winner or most of the time it will be a mistake or your opponent needs the ball. Yeah? Oh man, I was feeling that.
It's working.
It is working, definitely working. I shouldn't have told you, to be honest.
No, but for me, like what I find now, like, and I realise it, is before I never really used the cage too much, like, or at least I don't think about it. I think coming from tennis, when I hit the drop shot, I'm not really thinking, should I use the cage or not? I just think, oh, I'll just get it over the net with a bit of spin.
Yeah.
So, and it's good because you can see, even if you get there, it's going to be a tough shot for you coming off the cage.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something I'm going to think about now.
Yeah, because that means I have to make one more decision. Do I take it before the fence or after the fence? And then I'm kind of popping that ball up because it's always a random bounce. So it's an added element that can help you with the drop shot, basically. And you could see there, like, it's kind of much less risk, and it was as effective, more effective than some of the best drop shots with loads and loads of spin.
I think now for me, I just need to make sure that I do it off the right ball. Yeah. Because now I think, oh, I can hit off the cage and it's an effective shot. Yeah. Just want to make sure I don't do it too much, because every time I get a volley, you know, I think, oh, maybe I could do a drop shot here. You know?
Because it is also a risk that if you go for a drop shot and it's not good enough, your opponents are essentially taking the net position. Yeah. So what you want to really do is make sure that that ball before is a good deep one into the corners, forcing your opponents back, and then you have the short one. You did that a few times against me, and there's no way that I can get there. Like, it's just, you know, impossible. Oh. So, you know,
thanks
congrats.
For the tip.